Good morning. Does anyone else feel really uncomfortable with awkward silence? Oh, I see some head nods. That's a good thing. My goal in the next 10 to 15 minutes is to make you as uncomfortable as I possibly can. Now, I'm going to do that by first being really vulnerable with you all. So let me tell you of a few experiences that I've had and decisions that I've had that have been the uncomfortable decisions. I'm going to be really vulnerable, so I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to ask you to think of a decision that's uncomfortable. Maybe you've been putting it off for a long time, something you've been avoiding. I'm going to have you commit to that and talk to your table about it, so fair warning. So I'm going to start by bringing you back to 2008. It's 13 years ago. Michael Phelps won 8 gold medals. There was a financial crisis. That wasn't awesome. Some movies came out. I'm going to say also The Single Ladies was popular. Does anyone remember that? That video? Whoa, oh, 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 oh. And there was some of this. Thank you. There was a hair flip, but I just turned 40, so I'm not gonna do that. I don't wanna hurt my neck. Side note, my husband is here, and he is 100% mortified that I just did that. And that brings me immense joy. Sorry, Chad. Anyway, 2008, 13 years ago, I'm going to bring you to January 29th. It was about 6:45 in the morning. It was dark. It was cold. I think it was a negative 30-degree wind chill that day. I worked in a business where I had to park across the street. So I bundled up, walked up to the crosswalk. It was very cold, so I had my back to the wind. I was watching the light change from green to yellow to red. I took a step and another step, and I was hit by a car that was driving 40 miles an hour. Witnesses said that the sound that I made when my body hit the car and then the windshield and then the ground made it sound that they thought she couldn't have made it. Spoiler alert, I made it. I also totaled the car, so thank you. So I won that fight, which was awesome. I had a pretty terrible TBI, traumatic brain injury, a skull fracture, broken clavicle, 6 broken ribs, a punctured lung, a torn tendon in my leg that makes me walk a little funny if you look close. I was off work for about a year. I was in physical therapy for 2 years. And I had, I think, 6 surgeries. So about partway through physical therapy, I was told, 80% of people that have been off work this long and have had injuries that you have don't ever go back to work. It could have been the easy, comfortable decision to say, okay, physical therapy sucks. It is hard. Surgeries suck. But I knew that God didn't bring me through the most awful experience of my life to have me just go home and collect disability. So I thought, what can I do with this experience? I can work in healthcare. I can make a difference there. So I did. I went back to school full-time and earned my bachelor's degree in healthcare management. I started working at a health insurance company. Once I graduated, I went back to work, or went to apply at Avera. I get a little emotional talking about Avera. I was treated there after my accident. And I felt the mission there in every experience that I had, whether it was a doctor or a nurse. Y'all, a janitor, whoever it was, I felt that mission. And I felt like these are the hands and feet of Jesus. I want to be there. So I was. I was hired there. I was in a clinic for about a year, and then I moved to the clinic quality department. Went back to school full time. Again, earned my MBA from the University of Sioux Falls. Another organization I love their mission and their culture. So I earned my degree, and then I was promoted, and now I'm working a job full time that I get to help improve the quality and experience of healthcare every day. So if I hadn't made that uncomfortable choice, I wouldn't have completely transformed the trajectory of my life. So that's kind of a dramatic example, right? What about making an uncomfortable decision to heal something within yourself? Where are my Leaders of Tomorrow grads? Yes. LOT. Those of you that aren't aware, LOT is really not so much traditional leadership development, at least it wasn't for me. I worked a lot on personal development, and one of the exercises that they do is called Time in Your Mind. So it's 20 minutes a day, really thinking through your thoughts. Not meditation. This is analyzing why you're saying and doing the things that you do. The easy decision would have been, I'm going to take this easy. I'm not going to do this. I had a childhood that was filled with fear, walking on eggshells, trying to keep the peace and never actually being able to. But I did the Time in my mind. And I realized after a couple weeks, oh my God, the voice in my head is a jerk. She is not nice. So after all that time in my mind and really evaluating the things that I've done and accomplished in my life, the stuff that I've overcame, I realized I'm already a badass. I can stand here confidently and say that because I'm in competition with no one except for who I was yesterday and the day before that. My scars have strengthened me, and evidence proves that I'm a scrappy, gritty success. If I hadn't done the time in my mind, if I hadn't done the uncomfortable thing, I would have never realized that all of those stories are literally just stories. We all have them. It's just noise. 90% of our thoughts are repeats from the day before. Why are we letting that happen? They don't have to completely continue every day. We can change that if we work to. So my last example, a lot of you know me and know that I love to volunteer within the community. If you know me well, you know I don't really read an email all the way through. I was part of Toastmasters about 3.5 years ago. I work a lot on public speaking, which I still hate, just saying. Our president would email us and say, hey, do you want to come talk to this group about Toastmasters, explain what it is, they want to start this program. I got an email saying, do you want to come to what I thought said, do you want to come to a life group and talk about Toastmasters? And I thought, well, that sounds like a church, sure. Sure, I'll do that, reply back. I get an immediate response, a little too creepily fast, saying, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. And attached is the background check form. And I thought, what kind of a church do I need to fill out a background check form to come visit? So I reread the email, and instead it said, would you like to come to the Lifers group, which is a group at the Jameson Annex of the South Dakota State Prison of men that are either in jail or in prison for life or just long-term sentences. And they're working to improve things behind the walls. And I thought, oh crap. So the easy thing, the comfortable thing would have been, no, thank you. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Please take my name off of the list. But I knew that my name was the only one on the list. Okay, so I'll go once. It's not a big deal. So I asked the guys, why do you want to have a Toastmasters group at a prison? You guys are mostly in there for life or long term. A lot of them wanted to talk to the parole board, didn't know how to. A couple of them said they wanted to stop getting into fights, so they wanted to know how to communicate. That's cool. This one's hard for me. The last one said, I want to learn how to talk to my kids. When they come to visit me, language in prison is so hard and violent and hateful that my kids are scared of me. Okay, I'll come to your prison. So I go, and I stand up there, and I'm telling you, it is a row of 30 guys, hard-faced, crossed arms, no smiles, a lot of tattoos, arms, necks, faces. No, I was not expecting this. But I go, and we're doing a mock meeting, so I'm up there doing a speech, and I'm doing a speech about the foster dogs that my husband and I helped foster. Like, look at this cute little dog. Here's its personality. And I get nothing back, like zero. And I am just literally, the door to leave is behind all of these dudes. I can't even get out. I just need this to be over. So finally, it was over. And 3 guys walked up to me and they said, Miss Angela, would you like to meet our dog? Yes, I would like to meet your dog. They trained a dog in prison, so they brought their dog to me, and I could see a sense of joy pop into their faces, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna do this. So it wasn't just once, it was over and over, and they asked me, Miss Angela, will you please come and be a volunteer for us? Now, that's not just a thing you go do. I did a week's worth of training. I took a week off of my full-time job at Avera to go, and at the end of this training, you walk through a room that's been pepper sprayed. Not awesome. But if I wouldn't have made that first uncomfortable decision and those that followed, I never would have experienced what I get to see every 2 weeks when I go there now. These guys are standing confidently. They're growing. They're improving. And I'm gonna cry. I just know it. I can feel it. So I wouldn't see this one man who comes and he doesn't speak English as his first language. He speaks Spanish. He is terrified to speak. And he skips 2 meetings that he was scheduled to speak at before. And I thought, he's not gonna show up. And then the other guys helped him. He practiced, he came, and about 2 months ago, he got up there and he stood up there confidently. And he didn't stumble, and he paused when he needed to, and we all cheered, and I cried like a baby, because that's what I do. But I am telling you, I would walk through pepper spray 1,000 times to see another human feel seen and heard and know that they matter. Okay, now it's your turn. I need you at your tables for a quick minute. Talk about what uncomfortable decision you can make. It doesn't have to be going to the maximum security area of a prison, although we do take volunteers, so please. It could be having a difficult conversation with someone around you, your spouse, finances, that kind of thing. It could be taking a hobby that you love and turning it into a job. It could be apologizing to someone. It could be asking for forgiveness, asking for a raise. All right, you have 1 minute. Okay, I gotta bring you back. Sorry, I talked too long. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Thank you. So I just have to say 90% of my decisions are the comfortable ones because we need comfort, right? We need that stuff. But if we never step into that uncomfortable space, we're missing out on the most transformational experiences of our lives. If 2020 taught us anything, it is that we have no idea what's happening tomorrow. So make this commitment to the thing that you said. Talk it, speak it out loud, give life to it, share it on social media with other people, hold yourselves accountable, hold each other accountable. Don't waste this moment when you walk out those doors. Don't let this disappear. The most magical pieces of life live in the uncomfortable moments, in between breaths, not in the absolutes. We like to live in a world that's good, bad, right, wrong, because it's easier. That's not reality. We know that. That's not real. So live and make those decisions that make you uncomfortable. So my question to you is, are you courageous enough to be uncomfortable? Thank you.